Hi doll! Hi, and today I have another kit. I finally got my Angemon kit from Bandai. So I got him for a proxy from Surugaya, and he's in pretty much brand new condition. So first things first, we have a nice illustration of the character, all the Digimon series information, the figure eye standard, Bandai Namco, Bandai, Angemon, all the... what's the info called again? Anyway, and we have a toy sticker. Bottom of the box, there's some info on the figure and in English and Japanese. Side, oops, sorry, no, it's the same illustration as the front, pretty much. And the other side also. Let's see. And back, well, top. Some info in Japanese and English. Some caution labels and stuff. Okay. So, first off, need to get him out of his plastic present to continue. Okay. As is normal with Bandai kits, we have the box is 2 pieces and just slides up. Okay. So first thing we have inside this instruction manual, we have the same illustration as the front of the box, the some imported, and all of the instructions in color. Well, not all of them. So on this side we have the figure, the illustration, and the later part of the instructions. Here we have the parts list and the start of the instructions, which is in black and white. Also some things about putting him together. Warnings: do not cut. Sticker: follow numerical order. Cut here and choose one, so option parts. Okay. First, we have a white runner, C2 with the wings, and we have this metallic brown runner, D2. Then we have D1 with blue part, all the blue parts. Next we have runner A with gold, his skin tone face, his orange hair, though it's a bit neon orange. I think it can do with some shading. And brown parts. On the other side we have runner B1 with white parts. You see legs, feet, hands. And our third tag, we have runner B2 in clear orange for his attack. Then we have runner PCF6 with joints. And on the other side we have runner C1 with more white parts and the rest of his wings. So I'm going to put him together. I'll put that in a separate video, and then I'll continue with the review. Bye bye. So first thing I didn't mention, runner D1 is made of a flexible PVC type plastic, not the usual ABS. Okay, that's the color guide. I thought they'd have the name. Anyway, and rubber PCF6 is also this flexible part, and it has extra pieces and joints on it. So this is probably a generic thing that they use across all the kits. So that's that. Okay. So first off, he wasn't too hard to build. It took me just a bit more than an hour. So yeah, he's pretty easy to build. Although small parts like these tend to want to pop off. While building him, I did originally put these stickers on him, but the stickers, they don't look very nice, so instead I painted the details. So I have the zipper here on the leg, we have the white parts here on the hand. This black part is supposed to go into the helmet, which I didn't do anything about. And these parts are supposed to go on the staff. And the stickers are pretty easy to put on and also very easy to take off. And I'll put up some pictures of how it looked with the stickers, but I prefer the paint a bit more. Extra details I put was painting all the studs silver, as well as these two pieces on his head. Okay, so let's start with his accessories. So first off, we have his staff in gold, and then we have his, if I recall correctly, hand of fate. The hand just is on the ball joint, just like these hands, and pops right off. Unfortunately, the posability is not very good, but decent at least. I wish they had actual joints for the wrists like they do with the ankles. So if you ever want to use his staff, his hands have holes in them, and you have to take them apart to put the staff in the hand. There. Okay, anyway, aesthetically he looks pretty good, nothing to complain about. The wings are nice, the sculpting details all over his body is nice. He does not have Angewomon's horrendous shoulders, but he does have a large hole in his neck. But in his case, he definitely needs that posability. Generally, it looks better on male figures than female figures for some reason. So-called fabric pieces are also sculpted nicely. They're not just plain strips of plastic, all of them have details and folds. And they are able to connect as one piece, but naturally that limits posability. We have a little hook and a tab to hook on. There. Naturally the posing becomes limited. So let's unhook it. Whatever you pose him as, you can probably hook it back in. No, except if it's like this. The colors of the plastic is pretty nice and accurate. Like mostly brown, blue, white, gold, and this metallic brown. Okay. Other than his hair, which is almost a neon orange, all of the colors look good. I'm not sure why I went with this color, because it's literally neon orange. Compared to like here with Patamon's wings, you can see how bright it is. Well, hopefully the camera picks it up. Okay, So he looks good. And although his knees have gaping holes in them, they're definitely not as bad as the Angemon S.H.F figure arts. Okay, so posability. Starting with his head, it's on a ball joint, so that much forward and that much back. It's limited by the hair, but the hair does indeed have a bit of posability. More than I can say for the Angewomon S.H.F figure arts. That's and side to side a bit, and as far as the hair can allow, rotating. The neck does assist in posing. So forward, back, side to side. It is also on a ball joint. The wings are all on ball joints, although a bit limited. They do have a pretty nice range, and they pop out pretty easily as well. Okay, the shoulders. So you can just be careful because I've pulled the shoulder socket out of the torso, not just the ball socket. So we have movement at the ball joint, and then you can pull out the shoulder a bit, and it looks way better than Angewomon's. I'm always going to be griping about that, aren't I? Okay, so this far forward and this far back. Then we have a hinge, this far up, and completely down, and naturally rotation. Okay, he has a bicep swivel. Don't go 360 degrees. This piece of the cloth can rotate. His elbow has a good 90-degree bend, and I spoke about the wrists on a ball joint earlier. This hand has a bit more movement since we don't have the golden bracelet on the side. Okay, so that far back, that far forward, that far to that side, that far to that side. And this piece of cloth is also on a circular peg, so it can be moved a bit. We also have a hole in his hand for the staff. Okay, so we have two torso joints, one in the upper torso and one at the waist. Both are ball joints. The upper torso though is a bit limited, especially with the wings in the back. It is there, and it can be used, but it definitely is a bit finicky. But the range isn't that much. Okay, the waist joint definitely has more range, forward and back, but there is gapping side to side. It's 360 degrees rotation. And slight rotation at the chest. Okay, so the cloth thingy here at his waist is a semi-soft PVC. It can be forced a bit in posing, but it does have place to clip into when it's static. Okay. For the hips, we can pull the hips down for a better range of posing, but before that we have 90 degrees, although the leg's not completely straight, all the way back. And you can almost do a split. And when pulling out, the front is the same, the back 90 degrees, and now we can almost do a full split. So it's honestly not that useful to pull it out. The range of motion pretty much stays the same. Okay, the knee is double jointed. It can almost go all the way. And the ankle is on a ball hinge, which in the weird sideways joint, which I find works pretty well. So all the way forward, all the way back, can pivot very well, and 360 degrees around. Now on this leg we have the cloffy bits, but they only slightly hinder the posability of the knee bend. Okay. It's still more than 90 degrees. I probably need to mention that the other arm, the arm is also a bit more than 90 degrees for the one without the cloffy bits. And that's Angemon's posing. Oops, see, it came out. It's also on a ball joint, so if I fiddle with it, I might get bigger range out of it. The biggest flaw of the wings is that they can't really go backwards. And go in. There. Okay, so now a bit of comparison. We have Angewomon S.H.F figure arts. Let's pull his wings off for a bit so that we can compare them a bit closer. Yeah, the wings are just ball joints connecting directly to the torso. Okay, so he is half a head taller than her. And they're pretty nicely in scale with each other. And I find they look pretty good next to each other. So I'm happy about that. Though he's not as posable as she is, but they kind of have the same posing areas. Even though he has some joints, some movement in the hair, which is a lot better, I can say, for someone, it's still pretty limited. And yeah, I know it's supposed to be, the bend is supposed to be going down the back in the wings, but it looks very weird. Going with Angewomon. And while we're at it, comparing with my Magna Angemon, well, I knew my Magna Angemon was a bit short, but I didn't think he'd definitely be shorter than Angemon. Aesthetically, I definitely prefer Angemon, so yeah. Although the huge wings of Holy Angemon or Magna Angemon are pretty cool, and the sword. For now, he along with my Revolving Scourge and Angewomon are going into their boxes, and these two are going to be the ones displayed. For now. Eventually I'll be in the mood to change it up again. Anyway, concluding remarks. Angemon is a pretty nice kit to build, although unfortunately it doesn't come with a stand. He has biggish feet, so for most part he can stand pretty well on his own. And let's just check if he has the qualifications for 1 foot stand, and he does. So even without the stand, you can probably get him into most poses you want him. But for aerial poses, you're definitely going to have to get a stand. They do actually mention that on the last page of the instructions. can go into his battle. That sounded wrong, and that was not intentional. There. Okay. As I was saying, he is a pretty easy kit to build. Nothing too complicated, not too many small parts. And I did build him in a bit more of an hour, but that's partly because I was making dinner. Build him in between making dinner. So yeah, that it probably could have been faster. He looks good and he fits well with Angewomon. And yeah, it was pretty fun build. The texture of the blue parts was interesting, and I was in some places worrying if I can get them where I'm supposed to, but they have enough bend and stitch to go where they're supposed to go. If you're a fan of angels, or a fan of Digimon, or just looking for a simple kit to build, I'd recommend him. And the stickers are minimal, though I'm guessing most people would want to paint the studs the right colors. If I can say anything that I would have wanted more from the kit is more hand options, and maybe another face option. But unlike, he does come with accessories, 2 option parts, so it's not too bad. And yeah, considering when these 2 were released, I am like 90% sure they were supposed to go together, so the extra hands and maybe extra face would have been pretty nice. But in conclusion, I'd recommend him, and even if it's just to seal the wings, which is apparently a thing, because the ABS of the plastic is so lightweight, people are always stealing the wings of characters with wings. And I haven't looked at his price for a while, but he's about 2,500 yen around, and yeah, even if you're looking for a wing donor, that's pretty affordable compared to the angel girl from Arcanadia from Kotobukiya. Okay, her wings are fully posable and they're super cool. So that, although that's a bigger investment for wings, this is also good enough. But even without it being a wing donor, he's a pretty cool figure. And if you remove the cloth bits, you'd probably be able to customize him a lot more as well. Anyway, on to pictures and stuff, and thanks for watching. Bye bye.